Hi! Ashley here, a superstar in the making. At least I was until the accident happened and I was left with a scar. With a huge audition coming up, my manager boyfriend Callum persuaded me to get my twin sister, Bridget, to pose on stage as me. She took on the glitzy parts of my life while I stayed in the background and recorded at the studio with David, my grumpy but talented music producer. It was only supposed to be until my scar healed, but then the doctor told me the devastating news. The scar was here to stay. Upset, I went around to Callum's for support and saw him there with Bridget. They were leaning in to kiss. I couldn't believe my sister and my boyfriend would do this to me. So with rage swirling through me, I karate kicked open the door and barged inside to confront the conniving snakes. How could you? My boyfriend and my own sister! He's your boyfriend? I didn't know. I'm so sorry. No, you did nothing wrong. I fell for her first, Ashley. Can you blame me? She's a flawless superstar. You'd understand because you used to be her. At least until you crumbled. I was freaking hit by a car, you douchebag! But it didn't matter to him at all. That's when it hit me. Callum never loved me. I was just a tool to him. You can't trust him, Bridget. It's only a matter of time before he decides you're no use to him anymore and ditches you, just like what he's doing to me right now. And I'm going to make sure the whole world knows what a jerk he is. Callum suddenly lunged towards me, then aggressively dragged me out of the house. You think you can threaten me with that big mouth? Who's gonna believe you, huh? You're just a shadow of Bridget, a flawed, pathetic version of her, so get lost. You'll never get away with this. Just you wait and see. Days later, I was still hung up on his cruel words, but I had to do something to take back what's mine. So I spent ages covering my scar with makeup, then showed up at an event I was supposed to attend. I confidently strutted up to the entrance. Whoa. Nice try, Ashley. But the scar gives you away. Try Kylo Ren next time. That stung. Feeling hopeless, I started walking, and my feet unconsciously led me to the studio. I turned on the lights and played my previous records. Surprisingly, my singing had improved one by one. So I turned up the song volume and sang and danced along. I was busting some crazy dance moves when I suddenly heard clapping. I didn't know you've got the groove. Come to think of it, I've never seen you this happy before. You have no idea what I've been through. I felt safe around him, so before I could stop myself, I blurted out what had happened. He insisted on taking me somewhere fun to cheer me up. Turns out David's fun place is the super cool Japanese fair. We shared some huge rainbow cotton candy and lit sparklers and drew musical notes in the air. Then, as we walked past a stall with some fantastically colorful masks, I stopped dead and stared at them. Hey, I have an idea. I should start a new singing career wearing a cool mask. I mean, it's not the most original idea since Sia and Marshmallow have already done it, but I can hide my face and Callum wouldn't even notice to stop me. That's actually a great idea. Here, this one looks cute on you. Holy cow! Red alert! Red alert! You're falling for this charming, handsome, talented music producer guy. It's on me, by the way. Consider it a lucky charm, okay? For sure. I swooned and was motivated to create a YouTube channel right away, starring me singing with my mask on, and used Vixie as my stage name. At first, I only covered other artists' songs, but as my confidence and following grew, I began singing the songs David helped me write. Although the netizens quickly spotted the similarities between my voice and Bridget's pre-recordings, they're both mine, but the difference is, one uses a ton of auto-tune and one does not. Then, one by one, I released more songs, and over the course of a few months, my channel grew to over 1 million subscribers. For the first time in my life, people actually saw me for my musical talents, not for the way I looked. So, to thank them, David and I spent weeks in the studio composing a special song called Thistles Bloom to release on Valentine's Day. Then one day, David was invited to the Grand Gala, which was a massive event full of the hottest stars, and he took me along with him. The party went off to a great start, and everyone was so complimentary about my music. I was dancing alone while David talked business with some music producer. But then, Bridget suddenly appeared and tried talking to me. Vixie, hi! I love your look! I ignored her and went to leave, when suddenly I got this itchy feeling in my throat, and I felt my face begin to swell. I looked down and gasped when I saw pecans inside my muffin. Oh no! I'm allergic to pecan! I ran to the toilet and took off the mask to catch my breath, when the bathroom door snapped open and in walked Bridget. Come on, Ash, I already knew it was you. Sorry, guys. The door seems to be stuck. She slammed the door shut and went trying to help me. I didn't want her help, but I didn't have much choice. I put my mask back on and let her place her jacket around my shoulders and sneak me out of there. She got her driver to pick us up around the back of the building and take me home. Then she made sure I took my allergy medicine. Don't expect me to thank you for this. No, after you left Callum's house, he told me you gave up singing for me and that you gave us your blessing. But when I saw videos of Vixie going viral, I instantly knew it was you, and he'd lied to me. Yeah, he's good at doing that. I feel really bad for what happened, so I want to make it right. I'll give you back your place as a singer. You're serious? Absolutely. I was so relieved you hadn't given up on your passion. You have no idea how amazing you sound. Actually, I do, but I can't take all the credit. David helped me produce the song, and we're actually releasing it this Valentine. Really? I can't wait to hear it. Fine, you can hear the demo if you want. She loved the song, and I had to admit, it felt good having my twin back. A few days later, I was fully recovered from my allergy attack and feeling excited about my big song reveal. But then I went on my laptop and saw that Bridget had released a new song, Thistle Bloom, my song! I immediately called Bridget to find out what was going on. Surprised, weren't you? Now you know how I feel. I've always been inferior to you. It's about time you be the loser. Oh, and BTW, Callum and I are officially dating. He picked me over you, so did your fans. They definitely won't be fooled. I'll show them the truth. I went online and insisted that the song was my work. But not only did the netizens not believe me, but they also wanted me cancelled. This Ashley wannabe is so tragic. I always thought this masked girl was sketchy. She thought she was so sleek, stealing Ashley's song. I had to watch my subscriber count take a nosedive. All my hard work had gone to waste. I turned my phone off and just sat in a dark room, wishing I was beautiful again. Maybe people would believe me then. Suddenly, the door opened and in walked David. You've been ignoring my calls and messages, so I came to see if you were okay. Seems you're not. No, I'm hideous, and now my career is over. Your career isn't over because of how you look. Can't you see? You're very talented and you're all set to become a great artist. That's why Bridget is so jealous and insecure. She has to steal your work. So, people still believe Bridget because she's beautiful. No one wants to believe in this sketchy, masked girl who's too afraid to show her scarred face. Look, I can't hear most of the words you just said, but all I know is you can't let a minor setback like this stop you from doing what you love. He then took something out of his ears. Hang on, were they hearing aids? My hearing started deteriorating when I was 15. When I told everyone I wanted to work in the music industry, they all thought I was Delulu. But 5 years later, and look at me now. Of course, it was hard for me too, but I never let my disadvantage get in the way of my dream. You really did it! Sorry, what you say? Oh, that actually made a lot of sense. If David could overcome this and continue to compose and produce amazing music, then I could overcome my body image issues and become a real singer in my own right and under my name. I started by snooping around my old fan pages and found out that Bridget was going to hold a press conference for the release of her latest album and perform Thistle Bloom. I devised a plan to get there before she did, and that includes David puncturing his own car tire and getting Bridget and her team caught in traffic. On the press conference's stage, I was shaking like crazy, but as soon as I heard the audience chanting my name, I knew I could do this. I stepped on stage, and while the crowd was too stunned to react, I quickly started performing an acoustic version of Thistle Bloom, and the crowd went quiet. I could see it in their eyes. They were moved. Then the screen behind me lit up and played a video of me and David working on the song. When my performance ended, the audience erupted in applause. I was overwhelmed with joy, but then a reporter suddenly stood up and asked, "Are you the masked singer Vixie? What are you doing here instead of Ashley?" I knew this was my moment of truth, so I took a deep breath, then removed my mask. I'm actually the real Ashley. The audience gasped in shock. Buzzing started spreading. I got the scar from a car accident. I was so hungry for fame, but believed I could never make it as a star with a scar. So I asked my twin sister, Bridget, to take my place. I'm sorry that we deceived you like that, and I promise that from now on, I will always stay true to myself, scar or no scar. Then I stepped down from the stage and walked past Bridget, who was trying to escape the reporters. She looked around and called Callum's name for help, but in typical Callum style, he was trying to blend into the crowd. Ashley, was the twin swapping plan your idea? No, it was actually my ex-manager's, aka cheating ex-boyfriend's idea. Wasn't it, Callum? I watched him look mortified as they swarmed around him. It seems like he's gonna have a hard time with his career in the future. That's karma for you. Then I strolled out of there with David waiting at the door, leaving all the buzzing behind me. I started living my life just the way I wanted and no longer cared what Bridget and Callum were up to. Then one day, I was driving home from the studio when I saw Bridget surrounded by some thugs. I called the police and then made sure she was okay. Turns out, Mom was in debt, and the collectors were now forcing Bridget to pay up. My life's a failure. I tried to be you to escape this pathetic reality, but got carried away and wanted to replace you. I don't have any excuse for my actions. Just punish me however you want. I stayed silent for a while, then eventually decided to drive her home. It made sense now. Bridget despised me because she'd spent years suffering with Mom, while I had a privileged, happy life with Dad. I felt bad for her, because after all, she's just a victim of Mom's neglect. So, I used the money Bridget had made while being me to pay off Mom's debt, and then I spoke to Dad and arranged for her to move in with us. Things aren't perfect between us, but we're getting there. She's still super shy and moody, but she's doing a lot better than she was. I learned to accept the scar on my face and became a real singer. I may not be a household name, but I guess I'm pretty famous, and also an inspiration to young girls who feel self-conscious about the way they look. And you know what? I'm happy with that. Best of all, I now have a cute, kind, loving, albeit grouchy at times, boyfriend, David. We even opened a music company that judged our clients on their talent, not their appearance. I was cuddled up next to David watching the news when the reporter said there was a groundbreaking new scar treatment available. Do you still want to remove your scar? No, as it's now a part of me.
I was taking Mom to the hospital when noticed the nurse was trying to hurt her. Excuse me, miss, you're making a mistake. That syringe should go into the brachial artery. You're in the wrong location, and that's dangerous.
Are you trying to tell me that I don't know how to do my job? I have been doing this job longer than you have been alive.
No, you're going to hurt my mother.
Bummy, be quiet. Stop disrespecting and let the nurse do her job.
No, don't touch her.
What is going on here?
Your nurse got the location of the brachial artery wrong, and I was trying to correct her, but she wouldn't listen.
I'm sorry, she reads a lot of books and she is convinced she knows as much as a doctor. But she is correct, the nurse is wrong. Ma'am, your daughter just saved your life.
Hello, my name is Bummy from Nigeria, and I am just 15, but I'm already the world's youngest doctor. And today, I will tell you about my crazy adventure. Before that, please like and subscribe. It all started when I was little. My mom used to take me to the library where she worked and leave me to wander around. That's when I found my interest in medicine. By the time I was 6, I knew everything about the human body. But it only started to bloom when I met Dr. Jeff the other day. He told me I had a photographic memory and encouraged me to pursue medicine. While my classmates struggled to understand fractions, I had already figured out algebraic equations. School became boring, so after school, every day, I would go to Dr. Jeff's hospital, and he would let me observe everything and instructed me to perform some procedures from simple to more complex.
Bummy, you've learned too fast. I hope someday you have a chance to spread your wings further, 'cause soon I'll have nothing else to teach you.
Then, one day, I was sitting on the porch to finish my medical illustration when I noticed a group of foreigners approaching. Turns out they are American aid workers who would be staying in our neighborhood for a while with some humanitarian projects. Days after, they were carrying out an immunization exercise. Everything was going great when suddenly one of them fell to the ground. I ran to the scene as fast as I could to see him choking. Blood was nearly drained from his face. Without thinking further, I ran back into my house and grabbed my aid kit, but was blocked by some woman.
Kid, go play somewhere else. Don't take up oxygen here. Someone's choking.
Do you want me to help your friend or not? Upon that, I immediately dunked the Swiss knife in alcohol to sterilize them, made an incision, and then placed the straw as a temporary breathing tube. The man who was almost turning blue took his first breath. Let's get him to the hospital. It's not far from here. I called Dr. Jeff to inform his situation, and a few days later, the man finally woke up. That night, someone knocked on my door, and I was surprised to see the woman that day.
Hello, I'm Carol. Sorry to disturb you, but I came to talk about your daughter. I have traveled far and wide, but in my life, I have never met a genius like her. I think that an American education will do so much for her. America? My sweet child was fine here. No offense, though, but I'm afraid a life here is not the ideal environment for her to develop. But America will. We can get her into a gifted program and make sure she reaches her full potential. But who is going to take care of her? She would live with me. I promise I would take care of her like my own daughter. And the next time you see Bummy, she will have become the extraordinary doctor she was meant to be. What do you say, baby? I didn't like the idea of leaving my mom alone here, but that's when what Dr. Jaff said earlier echoed in my mind. Right, that might be a chance that he meant. Mom, I want to go. The goodbyes were quick, and I was on the plane heading to California with an eager heart toward the new land of dreams ahead. Welcome to America. Please feel at home. Oh God, my phone has been buzzing since they talked about you on Facebook. Hang on, I need to take this call. You must be Bummy, right? So you're the girl our mom can't shut up about. Hi, nice to meet you. Are not welcome here. What? Oh, great! You have met my kids, Camille and Ted. Welcome home, Mom. I made dinner. I hoped we could sit and you can tell us all about your Oh, not today, sweet pea. A show wants an exclusive on you right now, Bummy. Now? But that means people are super excited about you. Come on, let's go. Then Carol took me somewhere else with a bunch of strangers holding some kind of lights that blinded my eyes. Suddenly, a man walked toward me. You're Bummy, right? Hi, I'm Martin. Can we start now? Start what? Without letting me catch up on what's going on, Carol already had me change into stiff clothes and pushed me into a chair opposite the man. Good morning, everyone. Our show today has a special guest, Bummy Alana, the youngest doctor from Nigeria. Or maybe the world. Bummy, why don't you start by telling us your first case? Hi. When I was 6, my friend was choking on a bone, so I performed the Heimlich maneuver as I read it in a book before. And the show continued with loads of questions about me. I answered them all, but to be honest, I don't know why I was doing what here. I felt such a relief when it ended. But the next morning... Oh, there you are. Rise and shine, my little genius. We have a busy day today. I laid out your clothes, so get ready. We leave in 1 hour. I thought it was a one-time thing. It rather turned into my daily routine. I would be in a show after a show, sitting in front of cameras answering ridiculous questions. I felt like I was making a fool of myself. Carol, I'm tired of the cameras and the interviews. I came here to learn. Oh, darling, we want the same thing. A medical university you need to be at is expensive, and these interviews would help us get a sponsor soon, I believe. In the meantime, just focus on that and your study at school, okay? Yeah. I had to enroll at a public high school with her children. But high school here was weird. In Nigeria, I was supposed to be entering 11th grade. But now in America, I had to enroll in the 9th. It's like I was left behind. Not just that, Camille, Carol's daughter, seemed to not like me and was determined to make my life a living hell. She usually hid my textbooks or my shoes before school, making me search everywhere, and I ended up being late for school almost every day. Bummy, I don't think you appeared on TV shows that you can discard school regulations. Ugh, it's her, not me. And everything got worse. The people at school continued to undermine me and act like I was a dummy. Excuse me, sir. I got a C- even though I got all the questions right. Well, you didn't use the words from the textbook like I asked. But I'm correct. Shouldn't I be allowed to express my answers in my own words? Not in my class. Genius, they say. That day after school, I was home to find all of my clothes all torn apart. That's when I saw Camille smirk. You ruined my clothes! Next time, your clothes won't be the only damaged things if you stay here. Okay, fine. That's the last straw. It's time to teach her that I'm not an easy prey for her. I snuck into her room to mess with her makeup products. Ha! Let's see how you can decorate your face to school. But on the way out, I noticed her iPad. Wow, she had a channel herself. And what's this? Was it Carol and her children? What are you doing here? Startled, I accidentally dropped the sculpture on the floor. Oh God, my sculpture! Do you know what it is? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. You're not making my life miserable enough? Then out of nowhere, Carol barged in. What are you doing? You silly child! Apologize to Bummy right now or you are grounded. Carol, no, it's my fault. She didn't. I'm sorry, Bummy. Then she ran out of her room, hands holding her face. I thought I saw her tears streaming down. What happened yesterday kept me tossing and turning the whole night. It's true Camille wasn't the most pleasant person, but Carol shouldn't have done that to her. Bummy, I bet you haven't seen those tools in your hometown before, right? Haven't you? So you're not ready to dissect a rat yet. Just watch others first. Whatever.
I came here for new challenges, but all I got was mocking and belittling.
Hey, are you alright?
I raised my head to see Ted.
Is this because of the biology class?
Nah, I couldn't care less about them.
They just can't accept a new kid more brilliant than they are. If it's not, so what troubles you?
Why your sister hates me so much?
She doesn't. She hates that you are everything she is not. Do you know that this is the longest time our mother has been around us since our father left? But in fact, she wasn't here for us.
Then he told us how Carol was always traveling, leaving him and Camille alone, and it surely caused a deep hole in her children, especially Camille. That's why she acted like that to me.
Actually, that sculpture was the one Mom brought us when she went to Disneyland years ago. Camille treasured it the most.
My heart broke for them, for Camille. I understood her pain, and deep down I know I needed to do something to help fix this relationship. I came up with the idea of inviting Ted and Camille to go along with me to our shows, so that they could spend more time with their mother. Seeing them happy together, it warmed my heart to know family will always be family, no matter what. Soon Ted and I became closer. I didn't know he had quite a craftsmanship with his sculptures. And you know what? Recently Camille seemed to be super nice towards me. We might make good friends in the near future, right? Then, one night, while we were having dinner, Carol broke an exciting news to me.
Bummy, congratulations! Some sponsor sent your application to a top medical school! Good job, Bummy! I haven't been this proud before, my child!
Finally, I was a step closer to my dream! A few days later, I was preparing for my interview when I heard Carol screamed.
What's wrong? You got a C- in biology? Someone mailed the sponsor a copy of your test, and now they are uninterested. They don't believe that you're a genius with this low score. Oh, my hard work is gone. Who did this?
Ted and I looked at Camille at the same time. She was biting her nails nervously and sweating. So Camille did it to me? After everything happened?
Camille, why?
Cause Mom always loved her than us.
What?
It's okay. It's good that it happened. I was going to reject it anyway.
What?
I am very thankful for your kindness all this time, but I couldn't live on your help any longer. But Carol, there's a bigger problem here. You have been so buried in what could happen in the future to other kids, while you have ignored the present. You've ignored your kids. You have been looking in the wrong places for extraordinary kids. Did you know Camille has a YouTube channel with over 10,000 followers? Did you know that Ted is incredible with woodwork? He has a sculpture of you that he carries around, hoping for a day he can give it to you. They need you, really need you, more than me or any kids need you.
So where would you go?
I just got admitted into a special program at the Johns Hopkins University. I was going to tell you tonight. Actually, I was preparing for the interview with them.
Oh my, you're stronger than I thought. Can I see it? The sculpture of me, I mean. It's so beautiful. I'm so sorry, guys. I wanted to be someone significant. I wanted to be a big deal, but there is no bigger deal than being your mom. I'm sorry. I'm going to make it up to you.
Bummy, I'm so sorry. I was angry and didn't think enough. I am so sorry. And thank you for everything you did to us. I know it's hard for you to forgive me, but I forgive you. The car was eerily silent as the taxi drove me to the interview. I read my acceptance letter over and over during the trip. I earned it by my hard work, and I was determined to reach my dreams by my own effort. Finally, I could come to the place where people saw my true potential and attempted to help me reach my fullest. And here I was, ready to hold my dream medical degree.
Our school has never witnessed a prodigious student like Bummy Alana. Only in 1 year, she has not only finished her course, but also contributed greatly to endoscopy surgery of the U.S. with her new discovery.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. First, I couldn't find enough words to tell how glad I am for all the opportunities America has given me. The dean offered me a position here at the university. I am grateful, but I had to reject it. The woman who first took me to America thought she was saving me, but she never realized I was where I needed to be. My home, where I was much needed than here. So, I'm going back home to my family in Nigeria, and I hope to use all my knowledge to help my community. But whenever America needs me, I'll always be here to offer my humble help. Here they are. Carol, Ted, and Camille were also here to celebrate with me. They were all sad to know I was not staying here, but life is always open for a reunion, right? And finally, I was home, with Mom and Dr. Jeff. One day, I was checking the new pack of medical equipment sent from America, when I saw a sculpture of me.
You sent for me?
I didn't think you would make it.
As long as it's you, nothing's impossible. Oh, wait. Hey guys! Hi, Bummy! Welcome to your mother-daughter channel. My name is Carol, and this is my extraordinary daughter, Camille. They send their regards.
I and Pearl were playing our favorite, playing Disney Princess. You have to be the princess this time, Ruby. We're gonna make a perfect Elsa and Anna. No, I'm going to be your knight, fighting all the bad guys and protecting you, milady. Then a maid knocked on the door with a phone in her hands. That might be my parents.
Ruby, the school called again. How on earth could you get all these words spelled wrongly? What kind of nurse is spelled with a Z?
I am really trying.
It's all right, Bae. Studying isn't for everyone, and she might be of a sport type. Sweet Pea, could you just try a little more next time? Good girl. We have to go now. Bye.
I know you can do this. You just need to keep practicing. You're perfect, just the way you are. Hi everyone, I'm Ruby, and this is my little sister, Pearl. Since my parents were always away for business trips, it's always just been me and her, growing up together. You already know I was terrible at studying, but Pearl was nothing like me. She was a genius. What are you doing, Pearl? For God's sake, it's 6 a.m. The sun is still sleeping, and you should be sleeping too. Absolutely not. Today is my first day in high school, and I have to make a good impression. My streak must continue. Straight A's since 2015, I know. As if your valedictorian title isn't impressive enough. I might be Ruby, the dumb kid who couldn't read half of a word, but it doesn't matter, 'cause now I am Ruby, the awesome soccer captain. Yes! Go Ruby! That's my sister, everyone! I led the school soccer team to win multiple trophies, and I also aimed at the varsity scholarship myself. Studying was still a nightmare, but I gradually accepted that I wasn't born for studying, but for soccer. So all was well. So that morning, I was walking with Pearl on her first day at school when Beth and her clique approached us. Hey Ruby, ready to flunk your junior year? Aw, Beth, still salty because Coach left you on the bench yesterday? My advice for you would be to learn how to actually play soccer. Unfortunately, some of us have other things going on to focus on, like our brains. Oh, oops, you don't have one. You can't understand. Sorry. Boo-hoo, funny. That's Beth on my soccer team who always messed with me like everyone else. But all's good now, as I had my dear sister studying in the same school as me. Sis, I found my class. I have to go now. Bye. The next day at school, we had a new English teacher.
Ruby Walker, could you read the summary on page 10?
Oh, screwed. Oh dear, is that your thinking face? Didn't know you were capable of that. Sorry, teacher, but she can't read. You know what? My thoughts today on the book can be summarized into the classic song by the amazing Taylor Swift. So the haters gonna hate, but I'm just gonna shake. Shake it off. Just then, the entire class was in a frenzy, and everyone was singing, dancing, like they were in the Eras tour. The teacher was so upset and tried to calm everyone down that I was sent to the principal's office immediately.
First trouble in the junior, huh, Ruby? Listen, both you and I know how much you mean to the team, but unfortunately, it is not enough anymore. New district laws state that students must average at least C- to be eligible for the varsity scholarship.
What? But I'm the most qualified for it.
I am sorry, but until you can move grades from whatever it is right now to a C-, you're off the team to focus more on your studying. Beth is now our candidate for the scholarship, and she'll take over your place.
Beth? That girl who scored just 5 goals all season when I had scored 20? The world was really getting crazy. No way was I going to watch my passion get taken away from me that easily. I'm gonna study hard. Right! I'm gonna ask Pearl to tutor me. Speak of the devil. Hi, Pearl. You know her? I heard she's kicked out of the soccer team because she's too dumb. Oh, no. No. How scandalous if our valedictorian did. Well, maybe now wasn't a good time. That night, I dozed off at my desk writing 4 words over and over again. I am not dumb. The news had spread that I got kicked off the team because of my grades, and the kids at school were vicious with their insults. Like I didn't have enough issues already, Pearl started to avoid me like a plague, as if she's ashamed of me. So I couldn't ask her to tutor me either. It's like the whole world was going against me. The district superintendent was visiting our school, and the principal chose the 2 smartest kids to give a welcome speech, Pearl and a new student, Joe, from my class. So we started to hang out a lot at our home to prepare for the speech.
Hey, Ruby, need any help with tomorrow's test?
Nah, I am famously unteachable. Don't waste your time on me, and Pearl is waiting for you.
It's all right, she can wait. Let me help. Surprisingly, for the first time in my life, I felt like I could actually learn. There was something about the way he taught me that made me absorb knowledge naturally. Like he understood me and my struggles. Hey, there you are. I've been looking for you. We have a test coming, so I was helping Ruby. And we have a huge speech to give on Thursday. You know nobody actually listens to those speeches, right? Anyway, I trust you to come up with something incredible. Pearl stormed out angrily, but the only thing in my mind then was that I actually could learn. Hey, Joe, please teach me more. Joe could help me learn to get better grades, and then I could finally get back to my team and win the scholarship. Later that night, when I was practicing some test questions Joe gave me, Pearl barged into my room. I am not comfortable with you spending time with my boyfriend alone. Boyfriend? I didn't know you were dating. Well, not yet. Not with you hogging him and not giving me space to charm him. Oh, sorry. I was just excited. Joe is an incredible teacher. I was actually learning. Yeah, right. Of course you're capable of that. Pearl left my room, and it felt like a knife went through my heart. Since when did she think of me like that? Like everyone else does. But she always believed in me. The next day was the speech, and even though I was heartbroken, I still went to support her, and I clapped the loudest after she gave her amazing speech. Thank you for granting us a chance to study here. On behalf of the whole school students, I'll try my best to bring glory to our school's tradition. Wonderful speech, but I think before you bring glory to our school, shouldn't you teach your beloved sister, Ruby Walker, how to read first? I mean, maybe your dummy sister could learn 1 or 2 words from you before getting kicked out of her school. The whole auditorium burst out laughing, and my rage was filling my body. I lunged at Beth and grabbed her stupid ponytail until she screamed so loud, even the moon could hear her. Teachers and guards tried to separate us, while other students were excitedly shouting and cheering. In the middle of the messy crowd, I saw Pearl look at me in shame. I ran to her, but she just brushed me off. It's you again. Joe isn't enough, and now you try to steal my spotlight as well. What? No, I never meant harm to you, I swear. But she didn't listen to me and angrily stormed off. I was so angry at my brain for always failing me, and at everyone. Now my dream was gone, and my dear sister hated me as well. I fell down on the bleachers and saw Beth wearing my captain's armband, gathering everyone to the morning practice. She waved at me with the widest smile. It was hard to fight the tears, so I let them fall. There you are. I was looking for you to continue our classes. I don't think we should continue our classes. Why? Pearl, she doesn't like you and I together, and she will hate me for this. Oh, I will talk to her, but this is more important. You need to get back on the pitch. But you're just wasting your time on me. I'm just an idiot who ruined others' lives. No, you're not an idiot at all. You're dyslexic, like me. I've noticed your symptoms for a while, but I wasn't so sure. But I am now. Dyslexia? There's a name for this? So I'm not stupid? No, you just learn differently. I will help you and teach you all the things the specialists taught me. My mind was fuzzy. I gave Joe a hug without thinking. I felt relief spread all over my body. I wasn't dumb. I was dyslexic. At home that night, I searched everything about dyslexia and even took an online assessment when suddenly Pearl barged in. You told Joe I like him? Yes and no, but not like that. Well, thank you so much. He just called to tell me he just considered me a little sister. And you know what? I saw you hugging him on the bleachers this afternoon. So you were going behind my back all this time? What a sister! Don't ever speak to me again! Pearl stormed out and kept her words of never speaking to me. It broke my heart to see us parting like this. Luckily, Joe comforted me and helped me stay focused on studying. Now that I knew what my problem really was and how to fix it, I improved every day. The letters didn't make me dizzy like before anymore, and our effort finally bore fruit as I got my first B- ever on a test. And in no time, I got called to the principal's office. It has been incredible watching you turn your grades around. Good job, Ruby. I always knew. You're a gem like your name, and you just need some sharpening. Welcome back to the team. Thank you! I ran out of his office and rushed to find Joe immediately. We did it! I'm back on the team! Congratulations! But that was all you. You did it, Ruby. That moment would have been perfect if I could celebrate with Pearl. I knew she didn't want to talk to me, but I really wanted to share this with her. But upon seeing me and Joe, she was just shooting me death rays. The joy in my mouth instantly turned to ash. I just wished we could go back to the old good days together. But I had no idea how.
With me coming back to the team, I reclaimed a captain title and was eligible for the varsity scholarship. And of course, my impressive record easily got me the win.
Congratulations to Ruby Walker for winning this year's varsity scholarship. Come on stage.
Thank you very much, sir. All I can say is I'm immensely grateful for this chance, and I'm gonna try my best. Hi, everyone. Ruby's too shy, so she did prepare a speech here. Good luck. Except that I didn't prepare this note. Everyone in the audience all locked eyes on me, and I was sweating all over when I took the paper from her. Today is Oh, our scholarship winner just had a little problem. She just couldn't read. I hope it won't affect the scholarship much. Will it? I ran out of the hall before the tears blurred my eyesight. Joe was racing after me, but Pearl caught me first. Pearl, I don't really have time for your mocking now. No, I'm sorry. Joe told me about your dyslexia, and you should, Yeah, but it can wait. But you need to go back there right now. You've tried so hard to earn this place. I wouldn't let my sister waste it just because of Beth's dirty move. Joe also nodded encouragingly at me. Pearl was right. It's my passion. It's me or no one who would claim it. So I walked back into the hall, and as soon as I appeared, everyone started to laugh. I stepped up to the mic, took a deep breath, and read the speech. There were still some stumbles and stuttering, but I went through to the last word. Hi, everyone. I'm Ruby. You all can see I have some troubles reading because I have dyslexia. All my life, I have struggled and accepted that I was stupid. Until now, I know I'm not. I still haven't figured out how to read big words, but I am not ashamed of my struggles anymore, and no one should bear the troubles I've had. Dyslexic people like me need others to help us, to acknowledge our difficulties, and to be given a chance like any others. We're not dumb. We just need a different way to learn. Thank you. The hall was completely silent for a while before standing up for an ovation. I walked away from the podium to see the scowling look on Beth's face. I went backstage, where Pearl gave me a warm hug. I'm so proud of you. And I'm sorry. I should have helped you, but instead I've been horrible or even cruel to you. Yeah, you've been forgiven. So now could you please just stay quiet? I just want to hold my little sister longer. I missed this hug. I missed Pearl. My Pearl. It's good to have my sister back. And just like that, my life was back to normal. Of course, with some changes. There's something I need to tell you, Ruby. I'm sorry for the Joe thing. I let jealousy take over me and said bad things to you, but I realized he and I would never become a thing. But you would. Huh? No, we're just friends. Are you? Now come with me. Then she dragged me to the living room where Joe and another boy were standing. Then she placed my hand in Joe's. Joe, could you please take care of my sister when I go out with my boyfriend?
Sure.
There he is, my favorite person on earth. He should be the first one to see this. Ivan, look, I did it. I passed my exams. Top of my class.
Wow, that's amazing. Look at our little genius.
You know, when we did algebra, I was terrified. But then I was like, it's just math. I got this. And boom, look, I got an A.
Of course you did. You are a genius, the best of all of us.
Man, I am hungry. I will sweep this side so we can go home sooner.
My sister is a genius, genius.
You are literally the worst singer ever. After that, we hurried home and searched for something to fill up our growling stomachs.
Uh-oh, looks like Mom left arepas in the fridge.
You know I hate that. It's yucky.
1, never say food is yucky. A simple, I don't like it, works best. 2, I got a bonus at work today. Come on, I will buy you a chorizo burger.
Eee! Chorizo burger? Wait, but you need to save your bonus for...
Forget about that. Tonight we celebrate, mi amor.
Yay! Hey everyone, my name is Mirabel, and I'm from Colombia. This is my amazing brother Ivan. Together, we're the greatest team ever. Our mom worked long hours as the mayor's clerk for barely enough money. And even though my brother helped with the money he made from menial jobs around the town, we never had enough. But Ivan was full of ideas to help us forget what we lacked.
I'm so cold. Our radiator is broken. Mom called and it's too expensive to repair it. I'm so sorry, guys. But if I pay for this, I don't know if we will have enough to eat. It's okay, Mom. I have an idea. Let's move all our beds to the kitchen and use the stove to stay warm. Mirabel, you always wanted to go camping, right? Today, we're going camping in the kitchen.
Awesome! He always knows how to turn things around like that. Even though our living conditions aren't all too great, but with Ivan around, it felt like nothing could go wrong until...
Mita, the most exciting thing happened today. So while I was sweeping the streets in the city, this man in a suit came to me, and long story short, he wants to take me to be a model in America.
What? America? That's so far away, Ivan.
I know, but I am going to be a model, and that means I am going to be traveling all over the world. I am going to be like a bird, and after a while, I will take you guys to America as well.
I'm happy for you, but I don't know what I would do without you.
Oh, come on, genius. You can write me every week, and when I've earned enough, I will buy you a phone so we can video call all the time.
You promise?
I swear it on my life.
Ivan left home a few weeks later, and from that day, life sucked. There was no one waiting for me at home after school every day. Mom had to start working even harder, and I was lonely and miserable. Every Saturday, I walked for 30 minutes to the post office, hoping to get letters from Ivan.
No letters yet, dear. I have told you you don't need to walk here every week. Once you have a letter, I will rush on my bicycle to deliver it.
What if you forget? Or you have so much work and you don't get to me in time? Don't worry, I like walking here. Walking is healthy.
Okay. We have a rusty old bicycle in the back. You can have it for your trips here. No one uses it. Please don't say no. It hurts me to see you make this tedious trip every week.
Thank you so much, sir. That is so kind. I promise one day I will repay your kindness.
I know you will.
I excitedly went to get the bike. This probably was the first time I felt happy about something after Ivan left. I was pedaling while humming my favorite song when I bumped into a rock which made me lose balance and head straight to the sidewalk. Oh my god, I am so sorry. It's been a long time since I rode a bicycle.
A bicycle? You call this death trap a bicycle? Now I have to get a tetanus shot because that filthy thing touched me.
I am sorry. Yes, the bike is dirty, but I don't think you will get any diseases.
And I am supposed to take your word for it? Do you even know what a tetanus shot is?
Listen, boy, I have said I am sorry, and I don't know what else you want from me. I am very sorry. Goodbye.
How dare you? Come back here.
With my new bike, I dropped by the post office more often, but life didn't get any better, as there was still no word from Ivan, and later that summer, I graduated high school. I knew my mom couldn't afford college, so I got a job helping the postman deliver his mail. One day, I had to deliver mail to the Santiagos. They were the most powerful family in our town. Their house was a castle. My heart was tumbling in my chest as I placed the mail in their mailbox. As I turned to leave, I heard a voice from the hedges. I looked over and saw the devil boy.
Hey, you! Aren't you the girl that hit me the other day? Why are you here? Security?
Whoa, wait. I'm just doing my job. I didn't bother you one bit.
Job? Oh, with that dead trap. I can't just let you go off and hurt another innocent person. Get over here and directly hand me my mail.
I was confused, but hey, it's the Santiagos. I better do what any of them say. So I stepped into their yard and met this smug Diego. But that's not all. After that, he still wouldn't let me leave. That whole afternoon, he made me judge his paintings, give him recommendations for dinner, pick a name for his new pet, etc. Weird stuff. Guess rich people just get lonely sometimes. And that went on every single day after. Gosh, why do the Santiagos have so many mails? And every time I got to their mansion, Diego was already there by the gate waiting and bombarded me with 1,000 silly side quests. He even followed me on my mail delivery. What are you doing? Too rich you don't know how to spend money and time?
Well, don't you see? I'm spending them all on you.
Right, I'm flattered.
Seriously, do you really think our family has that many mails every day? It's all my love letters to bring you to me.
Then suddenly, he leaned in for a kiss, but I dodge it.
Why? You don't like me?
People like me don't get to like people like you. Your parents would destroy my life if we're a thing.
Look at me. I will never let any harm come to you. You are the only joy in my day, the love of my life. I need you. Just trust me.
Okay. And just like that, we started dating. I didn't think of him this way at first, but I guess his sincerity had gotten to me. He's always around, he gave me all the caring and attention I haven't had in a while, which made me feel like I wasn't alone anymore and I could get through everything, thanks to our love. One day, I came home after a long day and I found my mom outside. Everything we owned was littered on the streets.
Mom, what happened? What's going on? I don't know. I just got here and I found these men here, moving our things. I tried to speak
speak to them, and they pushed me down. As we spoke, a flashy car pulled up right in front of us. So, this is the girl you have been wasting your time with? Look at her. Filthy, poor home. You are a disgrace and a disappointment, Diego. Diego? What is going on? Dad, you can't interfere in my life like this. Fine then. Make your decision. Break up with her or I'll disown you. Not even one dime to your inheritance. Daddy, that's not a funny joke. We will sort this out. Mirabelle, I was just bored and you're just a gold digger. We both know that, so... What? You promised to protect me! I'm sorry, sweetie. Don't listen to that. I'll explain tomorrow, okay? Then he quickly got in the car and they drove away. I tried to contact him first thing in the morning, but to no avail. I sneaked up to his house, but only to hear the maids saying he's already long gone to some European dreamland, continuing his lavish life among lavish people as his dad wished. So, my so-called loving boyfriend has left me for his dad's money. But without so much of a proper breakup, while his family is destroying my life, getting us kicked out of our own house, and even getting my mom fired from her job, I felt like breaking down. I've lost everything. This life was just out to get me and I wanted to give up. But looking at Mom, I couldn't bring myself to do so. I wish Ivan was here. He would know how to fix this, as he would never give up. That's right. I was raised by my wonderful brother, and maybe it's time for me to channel his strength and fill his shoes, keeping this family alive and well until he's back. So, swiping the pain aside, my mother and I gathered what we could, and we left town because we knew the Santiagos would never let us have peace. We went to live with an aunt, Mom got another job, and I started working as the judge's assistant at the local court to support her. One day, I was at work scheduling meetings when I heard a voice that left me shell-shocked. Excuse me, is the judge available to meet me? Ivan? Mira, it's really you. Oh, I have been looking for you. You left us. I waited for you. We waited for you for 2 years. I am sorry, Mira. I tried to reach you, but America was hell. There was no modeling contract. I got there, and I was worked like a horse. My boss prevented me from writing letters to you guys. When I could finally write home, I never got any response. I thought something had happened to you guys. So I came home 3 months ago, and I have been searching for you guys since. Mira, life has been hard for me, and I thought I lost you guys too. I am so sorry. You are home now. Ivan being back brought joy into our lives again, but he was very sad. He wasn't the Ivan I knew. All he did was sleep and being all depressed, and it broke my heart to see him that way. Ivan, you need to snap out of it. What am I supposed to do now? Go back to sweeping the streets or go back to America and start from zero? How do I know things would be different now? I have learned that if you want to make something happen, you have to do it yourself. Ivan, we are going to America. I was saving my salary to get a college degree, but we are going to use it to go to America. You are right. There's nothing for you here, and it's going to be different this time because you are going to have us. But what about you? You are supposed to go to college. Yes, but you are forgetting that I am a genius. I will always find a way to make it work. Okay, let's do it. America was different. Ivan actually got a modeling gig this time, and in 6 months, we were comfortable enough that my mom didn't need to work long hours. Everything was looking up. I applied for a national scholarship, which I won, and I got to go to law school. I graduated top of my class, and I can never forget the joy on my mother's and brother's faces when I read my valedictorian speech on graduation day. Ma'am, there is a client insisting on seeing you. I can't take any more cases, and I have to go to court in an hour. He is insisting, Ma. Fine, send him in. Mira, is it really you? Oh my God, I saw on the TV that big case you won, and I knew I had to come see you. Diego? Hello, how can I help you? Wow, you are even more beautiful than I remember. Let me stop you there. I don't have time to reminisce on the worst times of my life. Be quick. What do you want? Mirabelle, you know I had to do what my dad wanted. He was going to disinherit me. I didn't want to hurt you. What do you want? Okay, my company, we are having an issue with taxes, and we need a good lawyer. Everyone is recommending you as the best in town. Please help me, for the old time's sake. Sake? I'd spit on that sake. You are delusional if you think I would ever help you. I hope your company burns. It's been nice chatting with you, but I have to head to court. My fiancé is waiting downstairs. Goodbye, Diego. I hope I never see you again.
Hey, Diana here. Last time you saw me, I had just received some life-changing news. I'd lived in a beautiful castle my entire life, but only as a servant to my best friend, Princess Anne, until I was revealed a huge secret. I was actually the daughter of the late Queen Mary. Only she wasn't dead. She was being held prisoner by her sister, the current Queen Miranda. Also, that made me a real princess. I was still skeptical about it, so I went on a mission to find answers and free Mary. I found a friend in Harry, a delivery driver for the castle who showed me the poor conditions most people in the kingdom were living in. But the thing is, I didn't spill a word to anyone about my identity until I received my DNA results, confirming a connection with Queen Mary.
Why? All this time, you've been keeping it from us? Your citizens?
I had my reason, okay? And I only found out about this not long ago. But yes, Queen Mary is indeed still alive. Then I began to tell Harry and his father the whole story. I know it sounds crazy, but...
I believe you. DNA doesn't lie. I'm sorry for doubting you. But the important thing is, you're the true heir to the throne. You're gonna be the key to end Miranda's tyranny. Slow down, son. We'll need a perfect plan, or else it would cost us our lives. And we can't do it without you, Diana.
I couldn't help but feel overwhelmed. The fate of the whole country was now resting on my shoulders, and I wasn't sure I was ready. I needed a little time to clear my head, so I took a walk through the town street, only to see this heartbreaking scene.
Please, Diana, help us. Our supply is running out, and we'll soon owe grand tributes to the palace. Next month is Princess Anne's coronation.
I didn't know what to say to them. I couldn't promise I would succeed. Gosh, I just needed one moment away from all this. I snuck away to a hill, and shortly after, Harry found me.
You're okay? I'm sorry if I put a lot of pressure on you. Just know that you don't owe us anything, and it's up to you whether you want to do this or not.
I really appreciate that. But yeah, I knew I had to do this. Just not sure how.
Don't worry, okay? We'll figure this out together.
For a minute there, I lost track of everything as I gazed into his sparkling eyes. But this is not the time, Diana. I shook my head, and when I opened my eyes again, the lights from the aristocratic area lit up. That's when it hit me. Hey, let's ask the Noble District for help. They have more resources than they could ever need.
We've tried that, but every single time they'd send hunting dogs to chase us away.
So they're just as corrupted as Miranda. Then we'll have to take it from them instead.
Let's assemble the people.
The next morning, everyone gathered at the square. I had rehearsed my speech all night, and I was ready. Citizens of our kingdom, listen to me carefully. Rise up and reclaim what belongs to you from the nobles and the dictator Miranda. We can't keep our heads down and put up with this anymore. We need to unite and fight them for our resources.
But we're not fighters. They take us down immediately.
That won't happen. We outnumbered them by a wide gap. We can beat them if we're willing to. So, what do you say? No one replied. They all looked concerned and doubted my words. Right then, some nobles walking their ferocious hunting dogs passed by.
Hey, what the heck do you think you're up to? Dissolve, immediately.
Then they released their barking dogs on the crowd. People started screaming in fear. I tried my best to calm them and bring the truth to light. Can't you see? These people and the Queen live in luxury because they robbed us of our food, our wealth, our dignity. Do you know what the beef and pork you worked so hard to raise are used for? To feed these dogs. Meanwhile, all you have to get by on is dry, moldy bread. And you're just gonna accept that? Do you want to spend your whole life bowing down to these cold-blooded people? I held my breath as they murmured to each other. Then they stood up taller, stronger, together.
Get out of our town. You have no power over us anymore.
They shouted at the nobles, forced them and their dogs to retreat. The people cheered as they left the city square. Harry and I looked at each other, knowing we needed to act now. So we led the people to the nobles' food storage to reclaim everything that rightfully belonged to them. The news of our coup quickly reached Queen Miranda, who issued a nationwide warrant for my arrest. I had to watch my back everywhere I went, but luckily, the citizens were looking out for me too. Like when the soldiers were on to me, Aaron, the flower shop owner, told me to hide in his flower cart. When they approached, he replied,
"No one is here except me, you fools. Get out of my way."
Then continued to push his cart away, leaving the soldiers dumbfounded. Another time, I was on the run again from the nobles when the trolley came near. The driver told me to hop on, then handed me a uniform and a fake mustache, and voila! We confused the heck out of those nobles. But there were many more encounters like that with Miranda's minion. It'd be a matter of time before they caught me, so we had to overthrow Miranda before that happened. At the same time, we also needed to get a stable food resource for the people. I knew the castle's layout like the back of my hand, so we hatched a plan to sneak in. And we had to take action before the coronation ceremony, when Anne is supposed to ascend the throne. If not, Anne would just become Miranda's puppet, and the country would endure her tyranny for many more decades. This was our only chance, because the palace's security would be at its most vulnerable since everyone would be gathered at the chapel preparing for the coronation. It is time to end this, once and for all. The night before the coronation, we snuck into the castle as planned. I led a group of people disguised as servants down to the dungeon to rescue Queen Mary. Meanwhile, Harry led the rest of the storage warehouse to seize the largest food storage in the palace to make the enemy surrender entirely. But when we arrived at the dungeon, Miranda was already there.
Diana, what are you doing here? Run, now! Shut up, sister. I was waiting for my niece.
How did you know I'm here?
Ha! Do you genuinely believe you could pull off this foolish treason plan without my notice? Guess you really are nothing more than a dumb maid. Guards, bring them out.
I turned around and saw the guards dragging Harry and his team to the cellar.
My guards have already captured your other crew in the warehouse. It's time to end your ridiculous rebellion. Unless you'd like them to be banished from the kingdom instead.
Do whatever you want with me, but leave these people. Miranda smirked, hearing my words, and ordered the guards to throw me along with the others in the cell.
Please, Miranda, she doesn't deserve to rot in here. You still can't shake off that rambling habit after all these years, sister?
You'll never get away with this. You've oppressed your own people to their limits. Someday soon, they're going to rise up and overthrow you.
Big words for such a little brat. Let me guess, even you couldn't tell that your own partner is my right-hand man, aren't you?
What? Harold, the Count? You're lying. It can't be. Harry, why are you standing there? Say something. But he only turned away, in shame. So this is real? Had he been pretending to be on the people's side all along? What about his family?
I asked him to turn you over for my guarantee of his family's safety and a lifetime supply of food, and he agreed. He had no obligation to you now. He's already betrothed to Princess Anne.
Betrothed?
You'll have the rest of your life in the dungeon to think it over, brat. Harold, let's go.
I was dumbfounded when I suddenly heard a familiar voice echoing through the dungeon. Diana, where are you? Anne, is that you? I'm straight ahead. There you are. I was so worried when you suddenly disappeared. I'm sorry I couldn't tell you everything. It's okay. I just heard the whole thing since I followed the guards who dragged Harold down here. But don't you worry, I can plead to my mother to release you, under the condition that you and your mom leave the country and never return. Why? You don't really think you can stand against my mom, do you? There's no end to this, Diana. I know, but with your help, we might be able to turn things around. We have to fight for what we believe in, Anne. You still want a simple life and to open a bakery, right? This is your chance. But she's my mother. How could I turn against her? Please, Diana, just listen to me. No, Anne. I can't do that to all the people who are suffering out there.
We'd rather stand here forever than be free and act like Miranda didn't commit all her crimes.
I guess, from now on, we go our separate ways. Goodbye, Anne. Anne burst out crying and left. I slumped at the corner of the dead silent cell. What was I thinking? That I could make a change? And now I had failed everyone. Queen Mary, Stella, Harold, Anne, and everyone else. I don't think I could do this anymore.
Don't cry now, dear. This isn't the end.
I don't even know anymore. There's no way out. Harry must have known I could never succeed. So he switched sides, right? So did Anne.
No, they might have had their reasons, but they did what they did, and it's not your fault. I know it's hard, but you need to get it together. This is not the time to show weakness.
As much as I didn't think I could, I was determined to try. Early the next morning, another group, led by Harold's father, unexpectedly showed up for mine and Queen Mary's rescue. How did you know we were here?
Harry contacted me last night and asked for help. So, here we are.
You see? Not only me, but the people also believe in you. I suddenly understood why Harold had to pretend to be on Queen Miranda's side yesterday. He had a backup plan all along. Now we needed to go stop the coronation ceremony ASAP, before it was too late. When we arrived, Anne was already walking up to receive the crown. I dashed through the spectators to get to the front of the crowd. Stop! I object to Princess Anne's coronation because I, Diana, daughter of Queen Mary, am the legitimate heir to the throne, and I have the DNA test as proof. The crowd grew loud as they reacted to this news. Even the soldiers stopped in their tracks. "Guards! Seize her!" Before they could reach me, Harold and a group of civilians created a human shield around me, ready to protest. "Order! Order! That evidence is fabricated and there's no proof of its validity. Don't be fooled by her." At that moment, Queen Mary finally made her entrance, and the crowd went dead silent. "Citizens of our kingdom, I'm your Queen Mary, and I'm very much alive. But I've been held captive for so many years by none other than my sister, Miranda. It was she who took advantage of my weakness after Diana was born to seize control of the kingdom. Now, she and all of you know the truth, and you know that Miranda is not your— Stop all this ridiculousness! I am still the queen of this kingdom, regardless of how. This is treason. Seize them all, now! But no one did as she said. The soldiers, officials, and the entire crowd turned to face Queen Mary and bowed before their true queen for the first time in 18 years. Miranda angrily charged towards us, but she took a surprise detour to prison, where she'll await trial. Then an official returned a crown to Queen Mary, but she didn't put it on. Instead, the ceremony was started again, and I was crowned as the new queen of the kingdom. Are you sure? I still have so much to learn. Why don't you see it for yourself? All hail Queen Diana! Thanks to you, we are saved from the famine and a dictator. You gave us a better life. You are the queen we've been praying for. I could burst out crying hearing their chanting. You see, being a queen is not about immense wealth or influence. It is truly about what you have to offer to the world and who you are inside. And you, my dear, are ready for this. Thank you. I'll try my best to live up to your legacy, Mom. I gave her the biggest hug as the crowd cheered on. And so, I officially became the queen. My first order of duty was to return what rightfully belonged to the people. I promised myself that from now on, no one will suffer under my rule. As the people gathered their things, Harold came wanting to talk, and we left for somewhere private. Diana, I want to be honest with you. I originally became a royal official because I wanted to change Miranda's mind and help the people, but no one took me seriously. They said I should know my place and be grateful that a commoner like me landed a place among the nobility. They even forced me to be the one who delivered the tributes from the people to the castle. It made me sick. But the moment I met you, I felt joy and happiness, the kind that I hadn't felt for a while now. I didn't want to accept the truth that I was betrothed to Anne. I just wanted to be with you. I didn't know you feel that way. Mom told me you like me and want to be with me, and she'll let us be after I was sent the throne. Anne! I'm sorry to say this, Princess Anne, but your mother has been deceiving you. I was only engaged to you by her force, not my own will. I deeply regret disappointing your feelings. I'd never expected my first love would end like this, but I'm glad for you, Diana. You too have my blessing. Oh, Anne, I never meant to hurt you. No, this will be good for me. I can finally leave the castle and have a normal life. Become a baker, like I always wanted. Thanks to you, Queen Diana. As sad as it made me to lose her, we'd grown up together after all. I knew it was best to respect her decision and let her go. It was what we both needed. Now that everything else is sorted out, I can breathe a sigh of relief. Oh, wait. Not yet. Harry or Harold? Which one is it? Whichever one you like. Let me make this clear. I'm still mad at you for lying. So you'll face punishments, mister. Well, look who's flexing their power on day one of the reign. What? You dare challenge the queen? No. This humble servant of yours is ready to obey the almighty queen's orders for the rest of my life. Then I order you to kiss me now. At your service, your majesty. Then he pulled me closer and swept me off my feet with the most passionate kiss ever. Guess my story does end like a fairy tale after all, huh?
Here I was, standing in the middle of Christian's apartment with a dumbfounded look on my face. I know I dated a lot of guys, but could it really have been so many that I'd accidentally dated this guy twice? I took another look around the room. Oh my god, that hideous lamp and minuscule kitchen looked really familiar. I was feeling uneasy as I sat on the couch and stared at the guitar. Okay, now I was sure that I'd definitely been here before. Panicking, I made an excuse that my favorite TV show was about to start, so I had to go home. Then I ran out of there. From that moment on, I avoided Christian at all costs. He tried to call and message me a bunch of times, but I ignored them all. How was it possible that I couldn't remember dating him? I mean, okay, I suppose I had been on a bit of a dating streak recently, but it was hardly enough to date myself into oblivion, right? Besides, if this was the case, shouldn't he be able to recognize me too? On the day we met, I was in a terrible mood, so was drowning my sorrows in a bar. I had a bit too much to drink, so when I walked out and accidentally bumped into Christian, I began blaming him. But instead of ignoring a drunk girl, he made sure I got home safely. After that, I don't know if it was by accident, fate, or if Christian was stalking me, but I seemed to run into him all the time. Hey, if the universe wanted us to hang out, then who was I to stop it? So I started talking to him, and turns out we got on really well. Then, of course, came that day when he dropped the bombshell. He said he likes me, and I kind of like him too, so we started dating. Now, did you see how wrong this was? If I'm his ex, then why did he approach me? Also, I mean, what are the odds for the both of us to just have zero recollection of each other? Or was he pretending not to know me? If so, then what were his purposes? Ugh, the best thing to do is to dump him first, right? Problem solved. But then one day, I got home from college to find Christian standing at my door with a bunch of groceries. He came by to cook me dinner. Oh, that's kinda sweet. Well, seeing as he's here, I should hold off on breaking up with him until after dinner, right? But man, it was so hard. All I could think about was how caring and thoughtful he was. Then suddenly, he said something that messed up my whole plan. My roommates are terrible cooks, especially my brother, so the two of them pester me to make all of their meals. Wait a minute. Did he just say brother and roommate? So it turns out he wasn't living alone. What a relief! That means there was still hope that I could have dated his brother or his roommate, not him. I just needed to figure out which one it was. I needed to find out more about them, so I praised him for more information. He told me that his brother was dumped by his ex in the worst way possible. He'd arranged a romantic dinner at a restaurant, and while he was talking, she screamed out that she wanted to break up. It was not only devastating for him, but also humiliating. Oh my God. That sounded so familiar, because I often did that too. It's like my signature move. Could it be that the person I dated was his brother, Connor? If yes, then that would be great. It means I could continue dating Christian, right? To be honest, I really hope it's Connor. So all I needed to do was meet the guy and let him confirm it. But easier said than done. The guy was never home. Until one night. Christian and I were at a bar when we heard some loud noises coming from the booth next to us. A guy was yelling at a couple. Seeing that, Christian immediately ran over to them and stopped the guy. Turns out the guy yelling was Connor, and the couple were his ex and her new boyfriend. So she was the one who broke up with him in that terrible way, not me? Now it's either Christian or his roommate. While I was in deep thought, Christian came back with 2 hot dogs in his hands. Hey, Christian! Suddenly, we heard someone calling his name. We turned around to see 2 guys standing behind us. It was none other than Christian's roommate, Wes, and his boyfriend. Yes, you heard me right, his boyfriend. So that means I didn't date him either? After that, I couldn't pay attention to the game anymore. In what way could this all make sense? But wait, maybe I was wrong. I mean, many apartments look the same, don't they? Seeing me zoning out, Christian nudged my arm, then handed me a hot dog. I thanked him and was about to take it when he snatched it back. Oh wait, you hate ketchup, 'cause you always get ketchup stains on your clothes. Here, take this one. What did you just say? How did you know that? Oh, you did tell me once, don't you remember? I just gave an awkward smile. I'm 100% sure I hadn't told him that. So, there's no denying, Christian is my ex-boyfriend. It's settled. I'm breaking up with him. That night, I couldn't sleep, as all I could think about was Christian. He obviously remembered me because he knew about the ketchup thing. But why the act? Oh my, he definitely wants revenge. I'm sure of it. But, why did this suck so much? He was just some guy. I could find another boyfriend easy enough, right? But chances are, they wouldn't be as sweet and caring as Christian was. One time when I was stressing out about my essay, he stayed up late so he could read it through for me and point out any typos. And whenever I was feeling down, he would send me a cake, sometimes a box of donuts with a little note to cheer me up. I was definitely going to miss his cute ways, but I couldn't do this anymore. He had to go. So the next day, when I met Christian for lunch, I decided to take the opportunity to break up with him. But before I could say anything, we ran into a guy who claimed to know me.
Oh my god, is that you, Sadie?
Huh? Who is he?
Oliver. My god, long time no see. You know Sadie? Christian? Hey, what a small world. Yeah, we used to date.
My god. Guys, this is Oliver, who happened to be Christian's former roommate, which, apparently, my ex. He used to live with Christian before Wes moved in. So that means, hooray! Christian wasn't my ex and wasn't longing for revenge. Yay! Although, it's kind of weird that Oliver didn't look at all familiar to me. Maybe I really did need to stop dating so much. This is crazy, but it made me realize something. I really had fallen for Christian. So I decided to set up a romantic dinner in a nice restaurant so I could tell him. Christian, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I love you. I eagerly awaited for him to say it back, but no. Instead, he burst out laughing. Huh? And that's when everything came to light. Guess what? Christian really is my ex.
When we were at the basketball match, I made a big mistake with the ketchup thing. I sensed you were sus, so I asked Oliver to pretend to be your ex. And it worked.
But why? What did I do to you to deserve that?
Oh wow, you really don't remember, huh? Well, just proves what a terrible person you are. You don't care what love is. You just like to mess with people's feelings, then move on to your next victim. Well, let me refresh your memory. We used to be a happy couple. Until one day you decided to end things without even an explanation. Right when I was having the hardest time. Things didn't go well at work and my mom was sick in the hospital. Did you know how heartbroken it made me feel? Then a month ago, when I saw you dump that guy in public, then walk past me without even recognizing me, I knew everything was a joke to you. So I came up with this plan, and I don't regret anything. Then he stood up and walked off.
What? That couldn't be true, right? Because I had no recollection of what Christian just said. But he seemed adamant it was true, so I went to see my doctor. Actually, ever since the accident, I haven't been back here for any extra checkup. And you know what? After several tests, I was diagnosed with memory loss. Well, that explained a lot. You see, a few months ago, I had a bicycle accident. I fell off a cliff, but luckily it wasn't high. I bumped my head, but I thought I was okay, as I still remembered my family and friends. Turns out, I only lost the memory about the period of time when I was dating Christian. How ironic. But it was a big misunderstanding. You know, I have this bad habit that every time I feel someone is getting distant towards me, I save face by dumping them first. So maybe when Christian was busy taking care of his mom in the hospital, I misread the situation and ended things with him. He was right. I am a horrible person. I can't believe I let an amazing guy like him go. But nope, not this time. I believe the universe gave me a second chance. That's why I met him again. So I ran to Christian's apartment to explain everything to him. But when I knocked on the door, Wes opened it.
You just missed him. He's heading to the airport to visit his parents for a few weeks.
What? I couldn't wait 2 more weeks. So I took a cab to the airport. But on the way, I got stuck in traffic. How am I supposed to find him now? Wait a minute. I've seen this scene play out many times in movies. So, can you guess what I did next? Yep, I stepped out of the taxi and ran like a crazy person up the road. I looked into each taxi hoping to find Christian and, do you believe it? I finally found him. He looked very shocked when he saw me getting into his cab. Before you kick me out, please let me explain. Then I began to tell him about my mom, and how my dad and countless other men abandoned her. I was left terrified of being abandoned by someone I love, so my own irrational fear meant that when Christian was busy taking care of his sick mom, I thought it was a sign that he was about to dump me. So I ended things first with him. It's not because you didn't mean anything to me. On the contrary, you made me feel safe. I just like you so much that I didn't want to get hurt by you. Then I explained to him about my accident and why I don't remember him. Christian remained silent and kept his head down. It seemed like he didn't want to give me another chance. I tried, but I couldn't make him forgive me. So, feeling glum, I opened the car door to get out. But Christian took my hand and said, "Sadie, I have missed you." "Okay, fine. Let's give it another try." So that was it. Christian gave me a second. Oh, wait. Actually, it's the third chance. And can you guess what we did next? Well, I'm now sitting at the airport with Christian, waiting for our flight to his hometown to meet his parents. I would be lying if I said I wasn't nervous. Wish me luck! I arrived to find that he'd turned his bedroom into a mini theater, complete with scented candles and glistening fairy lights. He handed me a bowl of popcorn, and as we nibbled our way to the bottom, a carefully written letter came into sight that said, "I've been in love with you ever since we were little kids. I've held back my feelings as I didn't want to ruin our friendship, but I can't deny them any longer. So, will you be my girlfriend?" How can he be so gorgeous and sweet and... Hey, dummy, you writing that cheesy stuff again? Just drop it already. Let's go prank Mr. Weasley. "Okay, I'm coming." If only what I wrote came to life. That's my best friend since childhood, Adrian. And as you can see, I have the biggest crush on him. But he only sees me as a bro. How ironic. I'm pretty sure if I confessed my feelings to him, he'd weird it out saying it's gross and stuff. So I just wrote my dream reality down in my novel and posted it on Wattpad. I even used a pen name. I couldn't risk Adrian finding out because, help, awkward alert. Anyway, it's easier this way, as I didn't want my parents to find out either. Yep, they weren't exactly supportive of my writing career. They wanted me to become a lawyer and take over the family firm just like my dad, and his dad, and blah, blah, blah. They made me study hard so I'd get into this prestigious law school, but it was just so dull and my heart just wasn't into it. One day, as I was sipping a macchiato at my favorite coffee shop, a group of girls walked in chattering excitedly about a book by the new author, Agatha C. Huh? Did I hear them right? Curious, I approached them and politely asked to see the book and... Oh my God! It was my pen name right on the cover! I scanned through the first few pages and saw my words. Did this mean my book was published? Ouch! So all this was real! So, someone must have given my book to the publisher. Then it's gotta be Mrs. Jensen. Yes! She is the most respected writer and has loads of connections in the publishing industry. And lucky me, she was my mentor. Hi, Mrs. Jensen. I'm just calling to say I'm so grateful for what you've done for me. Cecilia, calm down. What are you talking about? The book, of course. Mrs. Jensen, my book got published thanks to you. Right? You're talking nonsense, young lady. I've barely started reading your book. So how could it have been published without my notice? What? So, Mrs. Jensen didn't send it? Then, who did? What do you mean you can't disclose their identity? It's my book! Miss, all I can say is that the person who brought it here claims to be the author of the book and chose not to reveal themselves by publishing it under a pen name. We, as the publisher, are legally bound by that, so I can't help you any further. What on earth was he talking about? Some random person stole my book and my pen name? I needed to prove they were both mine. Aha! My Wattpad page! I tried to log into my account to show the director, but access denied? Oh, no. Someone must have messed with it. I was gonna use it to apply for a writing scholarship at college, and now it was all gone! As if that wasn't bad enough, I suddenly received an email from the writing competition I'd applied for, saying they denied my entry due to plagiarism of a Wattpad page. My Wattpad page! Ugh!
Sup, bro? What's with the King Kong face? Oh, come on. You'll be less of an ugly duckling if you smile more. See?
My gosh, could he just stop being like that for once? He made it very clear we had zero chance of being together. I got it, but he didn't have to rub it in my face like that. Fine then, he'd never have to see me again. After that, I was determined to transfer to another school by the next semester, one that would appreciate my writing talent. Somewhere like Eastwood Academy. It's a school full of literature records. Besides, I happen to know someone there. Lewis, the president of the literature club, and also an uprising star in the writer world. He's not only super talented, but incredibly nice too. He'd help me loads with my novels. But getting into that school would be tough. So, every day, with my game face on, I buried my head under stacks of books, while Adrian tried his best to distract me. One time, he told me to ditch class and go see the new Batman movie with him. I'd waited months for that movie. But no, I'd got to get my head in the game. Adrian didn't give up that easily, though. Only, right at that moment, the teacher appeared behind his back, yanked his ears, and gave him a ticket to the detention room. There went the Batman movie for him. Another time, he came up with a prank for Mr. Jones, the PE teacher who made him run 10 laps around the school for being late. But, sorry, the new Cecilia ain't got time for any of his childish stuff. So, when Adrian gave me Mr. Jones's phone and told me to hide it away, I just calmly handed it back to him. As Mr. Jones returned to the teacher lounge, he saw Adrian pouring some liquid into his tumbler, and that's how Adrian got himself 2 detention tickets. After that, Adrian finally noticed that I had been acting differently.
Cece, what is up with you? You keep ignoring me. Are we not friends anymore?
Don't call me Cece. I'm still mad at you, okay? So, yeah, I want to transfer to Eastwood Academy. You know, Lewis's school.
Oh, I see. Stop the act. I know it already.
What? Did he know that I like him? Had he read my book?
You like Lewis.
Huh? Oh. Phew. But hang on. He really thought that? And was he annoyed? Interesting. Yep. In fact, he asked me out to dinner this Saturday.
Really? Okay then. I'll go with you. Can't trust this guy.
And so, Adrian tagged along. He kept complaining about how I dressed up all pretty for Lewis, and how he had the nerve to be late. So, this is what he's like when he's jealous? Kinda cute, though. As Lewis arrived, he gave me a big hug, and I could feel Adrian's glare behind my back. I sat close to Lewis and giggled at everything he said. He immediately got what I was trying to do, so he acted along, putting his arm around my shoulder and slightly stroking my hair. At one point, I even helped Lewis take a fallen eyelash out. And oh boy, Adrian couldn't help but lunge forward to separate us. Right at that moment, I heard a familiar voice from behind.
Cecilia? And who are these young men? Lewis?
Oh, hi, Mrs. Jensen. What a small world. You know Lewis, too? She didn't answer my question. Instead, she gave me a stern look, then dragged me outside.
Cecilia, what are you doing with that no-good traitor?
You mean Lewis?
Who else? He was heavily criticized and boycotted by the whole writers' community. I strongly suggest you give him a wide berth.
Oh my. I had no idea Lewis had such a bad reputation. He was always so kind to me. Unless this was just an act because he wanted something. Like my novel. What if he was the one who stole it? This was not good. I rushed back to my table, quickly said goodbye to Adrian, then dragged Lewis away. Did you or did you not steal my book?
What? No! Did Mrs. Jensen tell you that?
Turns out, he used to be Mrs. Jensen's brightest mentee. Then he fell in love with her daughter Demi, and they started dating behind her back. But then out of the blue, Demi suddenly broke up with him. Heartbroken, he cut all ties with her and her mom. But Mrs. Jensen took offense at this and had been on his back ever since. Gosh, now my head was spinning. I had no idea who to trust.
Come to think of it, back in my mentee months, I also lost one of my manuscripts. I sort of ran into a dead end with that one, so I didn't do any digging, but it can't be a coincidence, right? It must have been Mrs. Jensen who stole them.
No way! She's an incredible writer. Why would she do something like that?
There's no better explanation for this. Don't worry, I've got a plan to expose her for the stinking thief she is.
He then called the publisher, pretending to be some big-shot producer, and asked them to arrange a meeting with the author of my stolen book, as he'd like to produce a high-budget movie based on it. Brilliant, isn't it? We arrived at the rendezvous in awesome disguises and waited for this to play out. Our tension rose as the footsteps got closer. And then, standing at the door was, well, Mrs. Jensen. How could you? I trusted you!
Cecilia? What's going on? Oh, drop the act. There's no movie. We only planned this trap to expose you for the book thief you are.
Mrs. Jensen persistently denied our accusations and claimed she was only here because her daughter arranged a big surprise for her. Then Lewis and Mrs. Jensen started quarreling with each other and it all got messy. Stop! Both of you, please just stop!
Demi, please explain yourself.
It was me, okay? I stole your book, Cecilia. I saw it on Mom's desk. I'm so sorry.
I don't understand. You don't need to steal someone else's hard work. You already are an excellent writer.
No, Mom, I'm not. I've tried so hard to meet your expectations, but I just can't. I didn't want to disappoint you, so I stole your mentee's work, including yours, Lewis. I was so ashamed of myself I couldn't face you after that. I'm so sorry. Lewis let out a long sigh, then pulled Demi in for a hug and comforted her. Right at that moment, Adrian barged in and grabbed Lewis's collar.
You jerk! You were flirting with Cecilia a day ago, and now you're canoodling with another girl right in front of her?
Adrian, stop! It's not what you think. Then I led him out of the restaurant. Turns out he saw me leaving the house with Lewis looking all weird, so he decided to follow us here. The truth is, I don't have a crush on Lewis. I was just trying to see if you think of me as more than just a friend.
Well, I do like you. Like, a lot. But I don't want to risk our friendship. I can't bear the thought of not having you in my life, so I figured it'd be best to treat you as one of the guys.
Guess what? I like you too, idiot. So, what do you say?
Yeah, let's give it a shot. But you have to promise me if things don't work out, we'll still be friends, okay?
Promise. Then we pinky swore just like when we were little kids. Only this time, he pulled me in for the best kiss ever. Finally, my book's mine again. And guess what? It has just become the #1 bestseller novel according to the New York Times. Ah! This calls for a celebration. Adrian, will you help me with the guest list for the party?
Sure, sweetie. Who do you want to invite?
Now, let's see. There's my parents, who were so impressed with my independent work that they're now letting me follow my writing dreams. There's also Lewis and Demi. Aw, they make such a cute couple. Demi decided to start over with her writing career, this time without the pressure from her mom. And with Lewis's help, she's got a bright future ahead. And last but not least, Mrs. Jensen, who's now fully supportive of her daughter's career and her relationship with Lewis. I guess it's a happy ending for both my novel, me, and everyone I care about. Hello, it's me, Jenny, the maid in disguise. If you're wondering why a rich girl like me chose to be a maid, then it sounds like you haven't watched the dramatic episode 1 all about my turbulent time in this house. You should totally go and check it out. I had my dream acting role to get, so what better way to understand the mindset of a maid than to live the life of one? So that's why I'm here, working at the director Lucas's house. Unfortunately, it wasn't all smooth sailing, as his spiteful daughter Lily found out my secret, and now she was intent on making my life a misery. "Jessie, Miss Hemingworth is asking for her tea." You see, I was already having 1,000 things to take care of, since tonight the director's throwing a party for the movie's crew. And still, Lily wouldn't give me a break with all of her annoying orders. As soon as I put the tea tray down in front of Lily, she looked at me disapprovingly, then took the dish towel from the tray and wiped the lipstick off my lips. Maids have no use for makeup, do they, Jessie? Or should I say, Jenny? Are you trying to seduce my Jack? Stay away from him, else I'll make you pay for it. I leaned close to Lily's ear. Hate to break it to you, but Jack's the one who can't seem to stay away from me. Apparently, you aren't as attractive as a maid, huh? Furious, Lily knocked over the teacup, causing a few drops of hot water to splash onto my hand. Right at that moment, Jack passed by and rushed over to me.
"Are you okay? Let me look at that."
"I'm fine. Please go away. I don't want my mistress to misunderstand." Jack helped me up, then turned and gave Lily an opposing look. I didn't do anything. She's just faking it." Without letting her finish, he led me into his room. Gee, Lily sure looked mad about this. I honestly wasn't that hurt, but Jack still gently took care of me. He even softly blew on my hand to help relieve the pain. Can't deny that I was a little moved by his gestures. To be fair, he is handsome. It isn't a stretch that people call him the Adonis of showbiz. Suddenly, I noticed him meet my gaze. Oh no, had he noticed me staring at him?
"Why are you looking at me in that way? You're not even blinking."
Then he leaned towards my face. Was he going to kiss me again? I quickly covered my mouth with my hand, and he just shook his head and laughed.
"What do you think I'm gonna do, huh?"
I leaped up and raced out of there. Whoa, my heart has never pounded so fast. I composed myself, then went downstairs to continue working. But, well, look who's here again. Surely Lily started to boss me around anew as soon as she saw my face. The night fell, the guests started to arrive, and so the party could finally get started. And while serving everyone drinks, I kept my ear open to catch all kinds of gossiping about the play. Meanwhile, Lily was practically glued to Jack's side. She clearly wanted everyone to think that they were an item. She waved me over, but as I neared her, I noticed her stick her foot out to trip me up. Okay, fine. If she wanted me to fall, then I'd fall. So I purposely fell and spilled red wine all over her beloved bespoke dress. She looked like she was going to internally explode, but I just apologized profusely as I helped her up. Lily got the hump, then went upstairs to change clothes. With her out of the way, Jack asked me if my hand was okay. Was he really worried about me? He gently held my hand to check, then even dusted off my clothes. I gave a shy smile and was about to thank him, but he had already turned away to greet Siren, this beautiful emerging actress. Unbelievable! As I watched him lead her over to the dance floor, I felt so foolish for ever believing a guy like him was capable of having sincere feelings. I angrily left when the housekeeper insisted I fetch more chairs for the guests. Ugh! Being a maid is really miserable. You don't even have time to be upset. As I hurried to the storage room, I saw Lily standing in front of the director's study room, looking sneaky. What was she doing? I cleared my throat, which startled her and caused her to drop her phone. Oh boy, when she spun around and saw me, she sure looked mad. She ordered me to carry her dress, but I told her that I had to finish the housekeeper's task first. Be quick! Meet me by the pool! Then she stormed off. Curious, I peeked through the gap into Lucas's office and saw Mrs. Sharma in there with him. Was Lily eavesdropping on them? After that, I had to carry the train of Lily's dress around the party. Indeed, a showy girl. But her plan to punish me wasn't working, as everyone seemed to pay more attention to me than to her. I even overheard some of them whisper that I was pretty, which made Lily screw her face up in annoyance. Then when we were by the pool, she ordered me to fix her hair, but then she suddenly swung her hands out, which caused me to lose my balance. Panicked, I grabbed onto Lily's dress belt, and we both gave horrified looks as we fell head first into the pool. Lily intentionally pushed me for everyone to laugh at anyway, so fine, an eye for an eye. Seeing as Lily was like a buoyancy aid in that OTT dress, I pretended that I couldn't swim and clung to her, then pushed her head down several times. Suddenly, someone jumped into the pool and pulled me up. It was Jack.
For someone who can't swim, you sure don't seem that freaked out, huh? Next time, try acting more realistic.
Geez, Jack saw right through me. I shyly made an excuse to go change clothes and left. Thank goodness, that chaotic party was over. It was absolutely exhausting. Still, I couldn't stop thinking about Jack and how he always seemed to appear at the right moment. I suppose his actions really touched me. However, there's a chance that he was just using me to annoy Lily, right? She definitely wouldn't let me off this time. Speak of the devil. I forbid you from talking to Jack ever again. You've probably forgotten my warning. My dad's at home right now. Should I go talk to him? Do what you want, but I'm sure the press would love to see some unflattering photos of you. And do you remember how that one time you pretended to be sick in order to avoid participating in a charity program? You dared to sneakily take photos of me? It's you who went through my stuff first. I have no interest in Jack, but no way will I ever sit back and let you control me again. Okay, fine. As long as you don't hover around him, I'll leave you alone. My dad told you to bring him some tea into his working room, so better hurry up. Lucas wants to drink tea while working? Okay. I carried the tea tray upstairs and quickly hid in a room near his office. After a while, I saw Lily come up and put her ear close to the door, muttering, "Why hasn't Dad yelled at her yet? Is she flirting with him again? This fox!" Then she immediately flung the door open, thinking she's going to catch me red-handed. You see, I know that Lucas only drank coffee while working, and also he hated being disturbed. At this point, I slowly entered the room and saw him shouting at his beloved daughter.
I already said that no one could enter this room without my permission.
I pretended not to understand what was going on at that time and hurriedly placed the tea tray on the table. Sir, Mistress ordered me to bring you some tea.
Both of you get out! Now!
Lily glared at me angrily and walked out. It serves her right for trying to get me into trouble. It's crazy how fast time flies. The last day of casting was the next day already. I stayed up late to practice some more, when suddenly Lily burst in and tore up my script. I forbid you to audition for this role. It'll be mine anyway, so just give up and save yourself the humiliation. Poof! What to do with this delusional girl? The next morning, I woke up early to get ready, but when I went to open my door, it wouldn't budge. Oh no, it was locked from the outside. Lily had to be behind this. I opened the window and peered down. It wasn't too high, so I tied my clothes together into a rope to climb down. But halfway down, a shirt suddenly ripped and I fell into someone's arms. I scrambled to my feet and turned to see Jack. He was rubbing his arm while frowning at me.
You love falling into my arms, don't you?
I'm in a rush. I don't have time to argue with you. I grabbed my bag and was about to leave when an idea popped into my mind. Can you take me to the studio right away? Jack was a bit surprised at first, but he eventually agreed. I transformed while in the car. I took off my wig and brown contact lenses, put on some makeup, and voila! Beautiful Jenny was back. Jack couldn't help but gape at me in surprise.
You... What's going on?
But there was no time to explain. We'd already arrived at the studio. I hopped out of the car and hurried inside to audition. The director called my name at the exact moment I entered the set. I quickly regained my composure and stepped onto the stage where Mrs. Sharma was already waiting. I told myself I wouldn't let her frazzle me this time. As expected, she tried to throw me off by changing the situation and dialogue. But I took inspiration from my difficult times being Lily's maid and performed my heart out. When I finished, the whole film set started to applaud. Some of them even had teary eyes, which made me burst with happiness. After a while of discussion, the director stood up and was about to announce the results when Lily suddenly appeared. She turned on the projector and asked everyone to watch an important video. Is she trying to expose me right now? But, oh, it was a video of Mrs. Sharma talking to the director. "Jenny Sinclair is my daughter. I only want the best for her. Please accept my request." Oh my gosh. So, the rumor about my mom being a famous actress is true. It was Mrs. Sharma who chose her career over me. I fell to my knees and looked at Mrs. Sharma, whose eyes were full of guilt. Everybody took out their phones to take pictures and videos. My ears were ringing hearing thousands of questions buzzing around. Suddenly, the light went out. In the dark, a hand pulled me out of the crowd. It was Jack. He put his jacket over me and then secretly took me to the car. Jack drove for an hour to a deserted beach. The two of us sat on the sand and stared out at the sea. Suddenly, Jack turned to face me and took my hand in his. "If you've decided to become an actress, having to face the public backlash over a rumor, whether it's the truth or not, is unavoidable. No matter what everyone says, you just need to stay true to yourself and believe in the rightful things you did." I smiled slightly at Jack. It turned out that behind this scandalous bad boy image was actually a really brave guy who had been through a lot in this tough industry. Jack took me home after sunset, and as soon as I reached the front porch, I heard quarreling. So I slowly opened the door, kept my ear to the ground, and gently peeked into the living room. Oh my God, Mrs. Sharma is here? "Why did you leave her for 18 years, then come back and mess things up like that?" "You know very well that I did no such thing. You're the one who prevented me from seeing her. I've always watched Jenny from afar. There's not a single photo of her that I don't keep." "If you love her, why did you drag her into acting? You want her to have a suffocating life, always being watched by thousands of people, not having a single day of freedom like you? Meanwhile, I can provide her with a comfortable, pressure-free life. I don't want her to be an actress either. I was the one who asked the director not to give her the lead role. I also want her to have a peaceful life, so I've tried everything in my capability to make her fail the casting." Unbelievable. So that's the truth? Dad, why did you hide Mom away from me? Do you know how much it sucked not having a mom? "Jenny, why are you here? Just hear me out." "I don't want to hear anything." "Jenny, let me explain. Miss Sharma, acting is my passion. You abandoned me to chase yours, but now you want to forbid mine? How ridiculous! Both of you keep saying you're doing what's best for me, but have you ever asked me how I feel? I hate you both!" I ran to my room, slammed the door, then cried my eyes out until I fell asleep. When I woke up, I saw a bunch of notifications on my phone. Turns out Miss Sharma went live and publicized her side of the story. The article showed the room full of my pictures from baby to grown-up. She talked about how when she divorced my dad, even though she loved me dearly, she thought he'd be able to provide me with a better life, so she gave him full custody. So, it turns out I do have a famous actress mom, and she does love me. I guess it must have been hard for Mom, and she must have suffered a lot too. Looking at the pictures of my childhood preserved by her, tears welled up in my eyes. At that moment, my maid rushed in. "Miss, congratulations! They picked you!" The maid showed me the phone screen. In front of me was an article titled, "Jenny Sinclair chosen as the servant's leading lady." I rubbed my eyes in disbelief. This is real, right? "It's real, miss. Look, Even your casting clip has reached millions of likes, and the comments are full of praise for your method acting. Everyone supports you. I jumped up and hugged my maid, tears streaming down my face. Finally, I've achieved my dream. So, what now? Well, as you can see, I made it. This is the movie premiere. I'm here with my mom. She accompanied me on set and taught me a lot. Suddenly, a firm hand wrapped around my waist from behind. It was Jack. He's always playfully sweet like that. The three of us posed for photos and greeted our fans. The media these days keeps shipping me with Jack. They say we're a case of on-screen romance turning into real-life lovers. But, that's not quite right, seeing as we actually fell in love before filming even started. Oh, that person over there. Is that really my dad? Oh my, today is indeed the happiest day of my life. Having Dad's support for my passion like this means everything to me. I'm well on my way to becoming an excellent actress like my mom. Or, who knows, maybe even better.